$80,000 for an LGBTQ community center in Slovakia, and over $16,000 for a united and equal queer feminist discourse in Albanian society, whatever that is.
Omar said these cuts are going to hurt working people. Then Brandon Gill started reading exactly where the money was going, guys. And that list is wild.
We hear the Republicans talk about big, beautiful bill. I think this is a big, ugly bill. Let's call it what it is. It is the largest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich in U.S. history. This reconciliation package proposes devastating cuts to Medicaid and SNAP. My Republican colleagues will tell you that they are just going after waste, fraud, and abuse, but let's be clear. The only way to slash this much safety net spending is by making it harder for people to survive.
Okay.
Their changes will kick millions of Americans off their health care and nutrition assistance. That means more untreated illnesses, more hungry children, more preventable deaths. This isn't just line items in the budget. There are people's lives, the sacrifice of human dignity and of life itself. And for what? So that your billionaire friends can get nearly $300,000 in tax cuts? So we can expand tax breaks for corporations, hedge funds, and wealthy heirs? And that's not all. This bill includes plenty of other harmful giveaways, like new mining leases on public land, including the Boundary Waters in Minnesota. More than double the funding of ICE as it disappears innocent people, and more money to line the pockets of military contractors. And this whole proposal is held together by gimmicks designed to hide the real cost of showering the rich with permanent tax breaks.
Wow.
I say permanent tax.
Guys, I think we are just kind of like by default diametrically opposed in terms of ideology and what we by default expect for human beings to be able to do for themselves rather than having to consistently rely on others. So she 100% is in the camp of removing all personal responsibility and accountability for all the choices that people have made. I am absolutely down for the idea of helping someone temporarily. If we have to help you feed yourself, if we have to help you house yourself, I think that we should not be completely callous to human needs, etc., but we should not under any circumstance make bad investments. Okay? Meaning that the person that we're helping needs to kind of by default help us out also, not consistently be a drain on our resources. I think that is fair here. We should not be floating people for the entirety of their existence. Give them a quick leg up for a couple of months, every couple of years, if that's needed here, while they are proving to us that they're trying to better themselves. And in my head, that is the moderate position, because again, I look at things logically. I look at both sides consistently here. Let's continue.
Tax breaks, because the tax breaks that you have for working people in America are not permanent. Some of the most harmful provisions, like work requirements, don't even kick in until Trump leaves office because you do not want the political package that comes with that, which is why you've been hiding from your constituents. This is not a serious budget. This is a green light for authoritarianism, for inequality to run rampant. It is a police state budget wrapped in billionaire tax cuts. And we have to be real with the American people. The breaks that they are telling you that you're going to have are not going to exist. If you make less than $50,000, you're gonna get $1 tax break a day. If you are a billionaire, you are getting $700 tax break every day. That is not a bill that cares about the working people. It is not an America First legislation. It is the billionaire first legislation, and we should all vote against it.
I'm thrilled about this piece of legislation as it's getting started. This reconciliation bill, I believe, will balance. It will extend the Trump tax cuts for the working class so that they don't experience the biggest tax increase in American history, and it'll grow the economy. But of course, it will also help us to implement the Trump agenda, which is to clean up the chaos and destruction that Joe Biden unleashed on our country over the past 4 years. It will help us fund the mass deportation of illegal aliens who have been murdering and raping and pillaging American citizens. It will help us unleash our fossil fuel energy sector, and it will allow us to rebuild our military. And of course, it will help us implement DOGE, which this amendment targets, among other things. As DOGE has been rolled out, I think it's been a bit curious because I found that so many of our colleagues on the other side of the aisle have not been upset about the waste, fraud, and abuse that this process has uncovered. Rather, they've been angry that the fraud has been exposed at all. We found that for decades, the administrative state has been weaponized against the American people. We can give example after example of flagrant abuses of American taxpayer dollars. We've heard of some of them earlier, but I'll name a few more. $1 million spent to boost French-speaking LGBTQ groups in West and Central Africa through the State Department.
That makes sense.
Almost $50,000 on a transgender opera in Colombia, also through the State Department. Over $7,000 for a BIPOC speaker series in Canada through the State Department. I think it's worth noting that normal, sane Americans don't know what BIPOC means, and neither do I. $80,000 for an LGBT.
Okay, let me go ahead and translate that for you for a second here. I mean, because I live on the internet here. BIPOC, I'm pretty sure that means people, like, let's say you're a guy and you like guys and girls. That means you're bi. POC meaning POC, meaning non-white. So bi people who are non-white people, basically. That's what it is, BIPOC. I'm pretty sure. But let's continue.
POC means, and neither do I. $80,000 for an LGBTQ community center in Slovakia, and over $16,000 for a united and equal queer feminist discourse in Albanian society, whatever that is.
Money spent well, guys.
And of course, we also know that our taxpayer dollars have been going to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars every year to fund left-wing media outlets like NPR and PBS, paying for welfare for illegal aliens, and paying for giving out payments to international organizations that are censoring and pushing for the censorship of American citizens. Our own federal government is using taxpayer dollars to promote ideologies that tens of millions of Americans find utterly repulsive. I think if the other side of the aisle has such a deep ideological opposition to this DOGE process, I challenge them to be straightforward with the American people and explain why taxpayer dollars should be funding queer feminist discourse in Albanian society or drag shows in Ecuador. I don't think that they will, but I would love to see it if they did.
Will.
Elon Musk acting as an employee and an agent of the president, I think, has certainly more democratic legitimacy than Anthony Fauci did.
I've been around the planet, guys. I've lived in multiple countries within my lifespan here, guys. I've seen the way different people live their lives and things like this. It's not something that I care very deeply about, truthfully. Like, bro, keep whatever you're doing to yourself, bro. That's not my problem here. Like, under no circumstance do you make any attempt at all to influence my children. Then we're fine, basically. Do your thing over there, right? I mean, I don't care, right? I mean, but funding some of these things with like legitimate taxpayer dollars, that's tricky. And to my knowledge, a lot of these things were probably done by bills needing to be passed here. So what they would do is they would kind of like hide some random nonsense, basically, for the most part, in some of these things here, right? And then say, like, if you want this bigger thing that we really don't want, coming from the left here, like, we don't really want this bigger thing done at all here, all right? But we'll allow you to get this thing done if you fund some of our nonsense programs. While the Republicans are in the background like, how about this here? We're going to fund this and then bring it up publicly 10 years later, all right? To make you look bad for not signing the bill that we needed to begin with. That's kind of, whenever I see these things, it's kind of like that. I mean, logically, common sense type of, response would be, that's how these things were done. Like, they were not generally done underneath the table here. They were just hidden in, well, maybe they were, but they were just put in bills, larger bills that Republicans wanted or needed, right, specifically. They were signed off on with the Republicans knowing in the back of their head that they were going to, in fact, eviscerate the Democrats, like politically and publicly, in a couple of years when we brought this back up. Look at what you did, right? This is just government Washington stuff here, guys, right? But now hearing what some of these programs were, I don't know, guys, a little bit weird, to be honest here. Why are we funding these things? Again, whoever you choose to sleep in the bed with, bro, that's not my problem. I'm being honest. Not my problem. Don't care at all. Guys, I've been in the realm of high fashion photography internationally, okay? My main makeup artist is a gay man married to a man, okay? Guess who doesn't care about it? Me, right? I don't care. I'm just good. I don't care. It doesn't really affect me. We can have a beer. It doesn't bother me, right? But I do understand it bothers some people, sure. But in the same exact breath here, but the moment you think that I'm not going to talk as crazy to you as I talk to this guy over here, because you married to a man, you're wild, all right? I just need you are a regular human. You just, you're married to a man, right? Do your thing, I guess, right? But just know, if you want people to treat you specifically, okay, like everyone else, you have to take what everyone else gets. Okay? You have to take what everyone else gets. And everyone gets a hard time. You're not special. All right? Listen. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. But in the meantime, guys, I'll go and catch you guys later.